Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, back again with another The Walking Dead review. And today we have season 11 episode 22, Faith. Now we are finally here into the final 3 episodes. This is the third to last episode. We have the penultimate episode coming up next week and then the finale after that, and just a crazy turn of events. And without going into too much detail early on, I'm just going to say that this has been my favorite episode so far that I reviewed for part 3 of season 11. And before I get into the review here, if you have not seen The Walking Dead up until season 11 episode 22, Faith, definitely come back to this video once you have, because there will be massive spoilers for all of The Walking Dead up until that point. So, of course, we have to start off with a Judith flashback here, or a Judith retelling of a story here, as it has been doing through all of part 3 episodes for season 11. And we see how she describes her dad Rick as choosing mercy over wrath, and them showing of course Negan in the lineup, a very iconic scene, one of the most iconic scenes from the show. And Roy tying all these big pieces together. I wonder if they're going to put a montage at the end, combining them all together. We'll have to see. We're getting closer and closer each week to find out what exactly all these opening messages mean. And in this we see them still being taken prisoners by the Commonwealth, and Negan of course being awesome and standing up, and his wife here, and just going crazy with that, and seeing Ezekiel here and Negan still butting heads, trying to figure out a way to of course devise this plan to take over and get their kids back. That is also another big thing. Maggie, Carol, Daryl, and Connie, as well as Gabriel and Rosita here, all looking to get their kids back and find out where they're hidden at and devise this plan. So a lot of planning going into this episode here. Back at the Commonwealth, we see Eugene on trial here, and he gives a absolutely phenomenal monologue for this episode here. That was one of my favorite parts of this episode, him and Ezekiel, because Ezekiel, when Negan and Annie, of course, are being set up here, towards the end of the episode by the warden of the prison here that they sort of have, and Ezekiel coming up and gathering everyone around and giving that speech, and Eugene's speech as well. Eugene's speech of how he relies on his friends and how his friends have done everything for him. He wouldn't even be here today, would have died at the start of the apocalypse if it wasn't for people like Abraham and Rosita believing in him, and having all these other new friends now at the Commonwealth, Yumiko defending him, Max's girlfriend, and now trying to get Mercer to help them out. And you see Mercer at the end of the episode flipping the script, and that was awesome to see. And just so much going on in this episode, mainly from those 2 plot points, Eugene's trial and the prisoner, Alexandria standpoint. We also get a little bit of Lydia, Elijah, Aaron, and Jerry here. They are, trying to go to Oceanside, and we get the return of Luke and Jules here, who, of course, was a part of the group with Magna, Kelly, and Connie back, I believe, in season 9 they were introduced. And they say how Oceanside has been completely taken over by the Commonwealth and how they're on the run. So pretty much every single group now, it's the battle against the Commonwealth. And I think that's what's going to really be playing out here in the next episode. We're really coming close to the end here. And the one thing I'm a little bit scared of is I'm not sure if they're going to have enough time. It feels like they're running a little bit short on time because, the war has been seeded and put in place, but we only have 2 episodes to tell the story of the Commonwealth. I mean, the Commonwealth are still very much at power here. Is it all going to happen in 1 episode? What's going to happen after that? Is there going to be a time jump? There's just so many questions moving forward. I do have faith, like as the title of this episode depicts, that they will land the ending, but I am a little bit nervous because of just them not giving themselves enough time here. But standouts of this episode, Eugene's monologue and Ezekiel's, Negan being a standout this episode was absolutely great. He's always got at least one funny one-liner in the episodes here. I loved when the warden took the paper from him and he's like a little tic-tac-toe. Great little one-liner from Negan that he always puts in. And this was probably my favorite episode of the the season 11 part 3 here. So for episode here of Faith, season 11, episode 22, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a really solid episode. I really liked the end with the one guard and his little dilemma here, because his brother here, and I thought Negan was going to make the deal with him to, screw over the warden because he knew about his brother's situation here. And we kind of see that them talking to him and being like, we have a family and you have a family. And he kind of turns, and the warden, of course, gets offed here by Rosita because she's looking for her daughter, and they find Herschel, and Maggie finds Herschel. A lot just going on in this episode. Some deaths in this episode. Really tense towards the end. I really like that because, we know Negan and we know about his spinoff here, but there's so many still unknowns and question marks here, and that was really cool to see them sort of being in play here. So I really like this episode, and I think that they are going to be a lot of big things moving forward. The next episode looks like it's going to be the downfall of Pamela Milton, them finally taking out Pamela, and that's my big prediction for next episode, is that Pamela is going to die in the next episode here. I think it's going to happen. I think at the end of the penultimate episode, she will die here, and will plant the seeds for this final episode, which is titled Rest in Peace. So yeah, that's going to do it here for the Walking Dead reviews. Definitely come back next week. I will be here talking all things Walking Dead, and as we're leading up here into the end, I have a lot of big videos planned once the show has concluded. And if you, again, are a Walking Dead fan, definitely hit the subscribe button down below. So yeah, that's going to do it, everyone. Take care and peace out.